Hello, I'm FTX, and welcome back to the video. Today I'm here in my last ever Minecraft Xbox 360 Seed Sunday world. You might recall it if you watched that video, but I'm here today because I wanted to talk about the Xbox 360 edition and the upgrade to Bedrock, which a lot of people are going to be making quite soon. Because obviously the Xbox 360 edition is not getting any more updates, and this means a lot of people, if you want to keep your same saves while still getting new Minecraft updates, are going to be switching over to the Xbox One Bedrock version. However, the big question as to which version is better, and although the answer might be obvious to you, the answer is to exactly why that is something I figured I would dive into with today's video and give you a full breakdown of the 360 versus Xbox One Bedrock. So hopefully you'll enjoy this kind of versus video. If you do like seeing the platform comparisons, please do like this video and let me know, because it helps out the channel and lets us know you do find these sorts of videos useful. With that said, let's get straight into the first and most important piece of information, which is the fact that 360 worlds can be taken into Bedrock. As you can see right here, this is a 360 world and I have it in Bedrock. However, and you can't put them into Xbox One Edition anymore. However, you do still need this Xbox One Edition to get them in the game, which means there's this very confusing process where you can't buy Minecraft digitally. You have to go out and buy a physical copy of Minecraft Xbox One so you can transfer your 360 save to that Xbox One Edition save into a Minecraft Bedrock save. It's complex and I don't know why they haven't fixed it yet, but it does mean that right now that's what you have to do. And yeah, if you buy the physical copy though, you do get a free copy of Minecraft Bedrock for free, so you might as well buy the physical copy, because then you get two Minecrafts for the price of one. Keep that in mind, because presumably if you haven't upgraded yet, then there's some price factor in that, and saving money might be important to you. So with that said, now you've transferred your world, like I just have right here, let's talk about exactly what happens with it, because there's some very interesting things, in my opinion, that I've noticed as I've transferred worlds across the years, and I figured I'd talk about that first, because it's the most important thing. If you've been playing Minecraft 360 for any amount of the last 6 years, even if you've only been playing it for 3 years or for 2 years, you've got a lot of Minecraft survival stuff, or Minecraft stuff in general, that you want to make sure is safe. So what happens to this, and it's actually quite interesting, because they draw a border around what would have been the edge of your 360 world if you haven't explored it, or if you have explored it, it's the same regardless. And at 864 by 864, again, where there's usually the big water border, where there's just blue nothingness beyond that, the terrain will keep on generating. There's no way to turn this off. There's no way to keep your classic size. If you want, you can ignore that barrier. You can stay within the realms of it if you want to. Obviously, there are a few places where it crosses across, but for the most part, it's very clear where the barrier is, and you can stay within it. However, if you want infinite worlds, that is something Minecraft Bedrock has. And I think this first border example is the best place to point out. The world size in Minecraft Bedrock is so much bigger than that in Minecraft Console. You know, we've gone over the comparisons of like it's 30,000 times bigger in each direction for a total of like 90 million times the blocks. Basically, it's functionally infinite in Minecraft Bedrock versus being very much limited in Minecraft 360, and that is something I think we can all appreciate, right? You know, having functionally infinite of something is usually a better thing, and the fact that the water barrier is still here, again, even in parts of my world I haven't loaded because this is a early copy of Seed Sunday, you can see how the water barrier is all the way around here, so your old world still exists. It's all still there, you can still check it out. However, the fact that everything else around it does still turn into barrier is at least slightly handy in my opinion. So yeah, fun little fact for you right there is the fact that your water barrier around the edge should exist for the most part around your world. There's always going to be some, like, hint, even if it's right here at a desert, there's going to be some very key hint that there is a barrier at the edge of the world. But if you want to go beyond that, you get a lot more of your world for your money. So as far as world size goes, Minecraft Bedrock is huge compared to Minecraft 360, and that should really go without saying. Second of all, we have the fact, chunk loading performance. Because if you want to, load in chunks, if you want to say fly around like this, whether with an Elytra or with a, trident with the Riptide on it, or if you're just flying around in creative because you're a creative player, then the chunk performance is something which has really gone down a lot over the years on 360. They didn't want to touch the frame rate too much, they didn't want to touch the actual performance, the resolution, and one of the sacrifices that 360 had to make over the years was chunk loading performance. Everything loads very slow on 360, and although it doesn't ever always load perfectly on Bedrock, especially with servers and especially when other things come into play, it is worth noting that obviously the chunk load performance, you've seen how I've gone through this world and everything is loading well before I see it. I can see, like 10 chunks in every, 15 chunks, 18 chunks, I think it's 18 chunks right now, in every direction, and that's just without any real issue. And, speaking of that, the next point is how much can you see at once? What is the render distance? And although it is a circular render distance rather than a square render distance, the max render distance you can set on an Xbox One right now is 22 chunks. That is going up fairly soon after they properly optimize in 2019 sometime, but that does still mean that right now, you get more than double the render distance in any direction, and that means more than 4 times the render distance in all directions combined, because it's 10 chunks of render distance on 360 versus a whole 22 chunks on Xbox One, and that is going up, which is kind of shocking, really. So yeah, as far as that goes, you know, like Xbox 360 render distance, blown out of the water, and the time in which the game loads in that render distance is also much better. There's a few other key differences here, such as the fact that the performance, it can take hits on the Bedrock, however, not as many as I've noticed on the 360. Again, the 360 version of the game has long loading times and bad frame rates. Again, 2 other sacrifices that like slowly come up, because even though they try not to sacrifice frame rate, there are situations you can put yourself in a lot where it will go down. In Minecraft Bedrock, frame rate's very variable. I'd say it almost can go down as much in some cases, but what doesn't go down is loading times. Loading times are lightning fast, and to give you an example of this, it's going to be slow right now. If you've ever loaded up a 360 world or like tried to exit, there's this huge process where it's saving, the bar slowly leaps across, whereas if you want to load up a world like I'm going to do right now, let's count how many seconds this is, and again, compare this to the 360. In this case, actually, I think that the syncing use data thing is most of the load, but as soon as you're actually in the loading screen, like we've been for about 3 seconds right now, even though we had all of this to load in the world, you know, a much bigger world, it's still going to load a lot faster. That bar just instantly goes up, and although that was actually about 10 seconds total, still significantly faster than 360. Load times for most things are faster. The game itself, I mean, you know, Minecraft, Xbox One, Bedrock, billion issues, and load times for the game itself and just not loading. That is an issue, but that's a thing worth keeping in mind. So, obviously, there's a few issues. Okay, now we've gone over all of the positives. For the most part, you're going to get updates on Minecraft Bedrock, which is really nice. You're going to get much better chunk distances, you're going to get much better pretty much everything, and any other performance aspect, which was limited by the 360, is pretty much unlimited on this version. How many mob eggs can you spawn? How many chickens can you spawn in? On 360, you know, about 20, 30, 40 before the game stops you. How many chickens can you spawn in on Minecraft Bedrock? Well, that's a question of how many chickens do you want to spawn in. I can literally sit here all day just spamming chickens left and right, and although after 100 or 200 chickens, the game starts to slow down significantly, there is no limit. There is no mob cap, there is no cap on banners, there is no cap on any of these things. You can just keep on spawning in endlessly, and even the limit where the game starts to have issues is significantly high. Again, look how many chickens I have on screen right now. It's not causing me any frame rate issues whatsoever, and that's something you'll notice a little bit more there. So yeah, as far as any limitation goes, way less on Bedrock. However, now let's talk about the 2 things you're going to have to get used to if you switch over from 360 Bedrock. So first of all is the fact that if you have any unloaded spots in your Minecraft world, the new generation will apply. So this is just a fun little one. This is where I stopped, again, this is a early version of Seed Sunday, so I stopped generating the world right here. This is the furthest my 360 had ever loaded in chunks, so after this, it's Bedrock chunks, and it tries to blend the 2 seamlessly together. It does an interesting job sometimes. Like right here, what even is this? Why is there floating pathway over there? But then you'll see on the other side, this is Bedrock generation. So what on 360 was this rich, featured, varied, classic world is actually I think it's just a huge, plains biome here, followed by a huge spruce biome that takes up literally all of the world. What was previously, ocean into jungle, into desert, into roof forest, into all these different tiny swamp biomes and all that sort of stuff. Biomes on Bedrock are bigger than even the large biome setting in Minecraft console by default. There's no way to tell. Oh, there is still a jungle here. Never mind. But, you know, I think this is the old jungle. But you can see, like, the size of biomes in Minecraft Bedrock is just immense. It's huge, and that has some huge benefits. Like, if you want to find a coral reef, for instance, you're going to find a big old coral reef. Look how big this coral reef is. Isn't that much nicer than the one before? However, it means that when you're exploring the vast, endless world, it takes a long time to explore it, which is good, because it means you get to see more of it, but it is bad in the same way that it means that if you're looking for a particular thing, if you're looking for, right now, if I say I want to find a mesa, and I start flying this way, I probably won't find one by the end of the video. And actually, let's use that as our fun little backdrop. See if we can find a mesa by the end of the video, because odds are we won't, no matter how far in this direction we go. We'll even turn on coordinates so you can see just how far we're going, because a lot of things are a lot rarer as a result. One of the true downsides that's almost an upside in its own way, because it means you have to explore the worlds, is the fact that everything is much more spread in between. Finding any given, finding a mushroom biome, it's like, well, good luck with that. It's a rare thing. And the fact that a lot of things that were previously uncommon turn into super rare is interesting, but it also means that, like, you're going to find a lot of the same biomes over and over again. How many deserts are we going to come across before we find the mesa? quite a few. In fact, you know, like, I know we're not going to find a mesa, but I know we're going to find a desert before the end of the video, so that's something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind about Minecraft Xbox One Bedrock that wasn't so true on the 360 is there's a lot more bugs. On the 360, there were bugs from time to time, like you could exploit a duplication glitch, you could exploit this or that, but that's something where on Bedrock, obviously it's not, the level of bugs is just not comparable. It's a lot higher, and that's just a thing you deal with Bedrock. Bedrock is a always work in progress game, whereas Minecraft 360 operates on the principles of make something, make sure it works, time and time and time again, putting a month into QA if that's what it takes to guarantee that there's no major bugs or whatever, and then they, you know, obviously have next day fixes for big things. On Minecraft Bedrock, the process seems to be different. You know, it seems almost critical to say this, but this is the truth. They released an update after, you know, with phantoms in it, and the phantoms didn't work. So they released the patch update 3 weeks later. It was 3 weeks and 2 days, I think it was. But like they released the patch update a long time later to actually fix that thing. Having things work correctly in terms of features isn't as important to, at least it isn't fixed as quickly on Bedrock side of things, and that's a downside you have to keep in mind. So that is all of the upsides and downsides of 360 versus Bedrock when it comes to the main game. It's worth noting Bedrock so 360 has mini games, whereas Bedrock has realms, has servers, and has the Minecraft store if you want to play stuff like Grid Runners or whatever. And yeah, long story short, is the two games, they're very different. They're both called Minecraft, but they, you know, one runs a lot better because it's been optimized over and over and over again for performance, whereas the other one has been optimized over and over again to provide a stable, consistent experience. It's both Minecraft, it's both the same, you chop down trees and you kill the dragon at the end of things, but the processes in between are entirely different, and I hope this video explains why 360 and Bedrock are different, and why, if you're on a 360, you should upgrade to Xbox One Bedrock, despite, you know, the couple of downsides. So, with that in mind, if you are going to be upgraded to Bedrock, the number one thing people say to me when I'm like, yeah, at some point, you know, the 360 is a 13-year-old console, you should upgrade, is a lot of people say something like, oh yeah, well, Toycat, here's the thing, I can't get another console. The reason I'm playing 360 is not because I think the 360 is ran 13 years on, it's because I can't afford an Xbox One. There's a reason I'm not playing on the latest thing, and it's not just because, yeah, like I said, it's not just this crazy I'm being kooky sort of thing. So, you know, like, if I can't afford an Xbox One, then I'm just screwed on. And honestly, this is something I just wanted to kind of like explain right here, because as a kid playing games, I think games consoles were the first thing where I realized that, like, I wasn't, like, you know, like, other people had what was in my eyes rich parents, and I didn't even realize it, you know, because when I was a kid, you know, like, everything was a lot harder to come by. Like, I'd be really lucky to get a games console, like, 3 years or 4 years after the cycle, like, you know, like, getting an Xbox just before the 360 came out, and I was like, oh my god, it's so great. And then, you know, I had friends who were like, oh yeah, I have a 360, a PS3, and also a Wii, and my dad just gave me £500 as, like, a fun gift, you know, wasn't that nice? And it's like, whoa, okay, so some people, you know, like some people, and you know, it was the realization I had that, like, oh, they just, you know, like, that's not me. I am compared to, you know, and it wasn't even that they're rich friends. That's like a fairly standard experience. So don't worry, I understand where you're coming from that. I'm not going to be that guy who's like, why don't you just have more money? Money appears from everyone, right? Like, you just ask your parents and they give you as much money as you ask. That's how the system works. But no, that's not what I'm going to recommend here at all. What I am going to recommend, though, is you have around about 4 to 6 months until the next huge Minecraft update comes out that you're going to want to download, I assume. And if you have 4 to 6 months and you're like, well, I don't have an Xbox One, I can't afford one, well, I mean, assuming you're an adult with a job and an income of some form, you know, there's some way to make that happen in 6 months. Whatever the method may be, you know, there's lots of methods. But if you're a kid and you're like, well, I'm literally, you know, 11 years old, or I'm 13, or I'm whatever age, I can't get a job, I can't get a source of money, what do I do? Well, you know, like Christmas, just be like, look, I really want this, family, please, just even if you only give me like a tenner or something, which is £10, I guess I should clarify, just, no matter what you gotta give me, please, I really want to do this. Also, if you got any work you want me to do, you know, most family members will understand, like, oh yeah, come clean my gutters or whatever. There are ways to get money as a kid that, like, you know, they don't come to mind immediately. It feels like you can never get money, but and even if it's like tiny amounts add up, and if you then buy yourself a used Xbox One or something, maybe that's the solution you want to find. Also, I've gone 7,000 blocks, still haven't found a mesa or really anything close. I went over a desert, I think, earlier though. But yeah, you can really see, I think, that I think with all of these months to go. Get yourself a used Xbox One. It can be a lot cheaper than you think if you do a lot of like eBay searching, Amazon searching. There is a way to get yourself an Xbox One. You don't have to, accept the like, I'm doomed to the 360 forever, because the Xbox 360 only has so much life left in it. And if you care about gaming, if you care about Minecraft, which I assume you do on this channel, there is some way to make that happen properly. I understand that it's not, it feels like everyone else just like kind of makes it happen easily. Like, oh wow, you just hit the buy button the day that Xbox One come out, but I have to, scrimp over here all these years later. Whatever, I understand that feels bad, but there is a way to do it, and I hope that maybe you understand that, or at least you try, or something like that. So, with that said, I hope you did or enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, whether that is actually, how 360 and Xbox One stack up against each other, or maybe it's just the fact that Mesa biomes are darn rare. Seriously, whenever you want a biome like this in Minecraft Bedrock, you just gotta say, well, I'll find a seed that has it at spawn, or I won't find it at all. Those are usually your two options. Like, I've gone 8,500. Let's not exaggerate too much. But yeah, those are kind of your options, because, you can slowly see now that we went 8,500 blocks, and we had our first chunk loading issue, whereas on 360, you go 200 blocks, and you have 10 chunk loading issues. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video, hope you learned something from it, and, yeah, if you feel like you're in the position where like it's impossible to get a new console, or you feel like everyone else just kind of gets one and you don't, that's one of the weird, I guess, almost injustices of being a kid, right? Like for no circumstances of your own, like some kids have more than you, and that feels bad. But like it's something you can try and fix at the very least, even if it doesn't feel fair, and even if it isn't fair. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you understand there's no mesas anywhere in 10,000 blocks of the seed, or for any seed. You can like it if you liked it, share if you liked it, subscribe if you're into it, with notifications turned on. And if you want to buy an Xbox One, or see how much one costs, or just see what I use in my setup, I have an Amazon shop. It's like Amazon, whatever. It's linked down below if you want to see what I use to both record and also to play on in terms of Xboxes. So thank you very much for watching. This is officially 10,000 blocks now. There's no mesas. This is just not a thing you find. And I guess I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Serious, I wonder how far I have to go.